When I was 12 I met some girl on a game called Momeo. We became IBFS and 2 weeks later she told me that she was going to the same school as me. I was so happy that I was buying things and ordering things so I could give it to her. So school was about to start and I realized that I was going to be late. I asked my mom if she wanted to drive me and she said no, so I just walked and got there late. Once I was at school I had to go to class immediately. She texted me that we could meet up during lunch. She wanted to meet me outside the school for some reason, but I was so stupid that I didn't get suspicious or anything. So I just walked outside after school and started looking for her because she texted me that she was there. When I saw someone I said, "Hello, are you here?" When I saw someone I said, "Hello, are you here?" Then a old man came out and grabbed my ankles. A teacher was walking by and saw me and the old guy and just started slapping the guy with her bag. The guy started screaming and ran away. And now I'm scared to talk to PPL online. Cool.
When I was 15 my brother had a friend over, so I also thought his friend was cute, so it's about 7 or 8 when he comes over, so I'm about to get in the shower in my head because I knew he was coming, so I got in the shower and I don't usually leave the door unlocked, but this time I did because I forgot to lock it. So his friend asked him, "Yo, where is the bathroom?" He said, "Go upstairs to the right." He said okay, but I was in my zone taking my shower, so he knocked but I couldn't hear him and he walked in and I said, "Bro, I told you to stop walking in on me." I said, "Oh hey, when did you get here?" He said, "I just got here and had to use the bathroom." Here's a really funny story submission that happened to me and my friend. So one time before I had this friend named Laya and we would always go to each other's houses. Mind you, Laya was like 2 years older than me at the time, so she was more developed. So one day we were walking down the street just chilling as usual and decided we should have a sleepover at my house. By the way, she lives like literally right beside me, so we both walk back to her house so she can pack her stuff, and after that we were on the way back to my house. On the way back to my house we were sharing secrets and this bitch told me she was secretly dating my older brother. I didn't believe it at first because back then everybody wanted to be with my brother because apparently something about him turned on my friend, so I just shrugged it off my shoulders until we were in my room about to sleep and she shows me text messages between my brother and her saying that he wanted to do the dirty and sent his nudes to her. Obviously after I saw this I was pissed at her for dating my brother behind my back, but at the same time the tea was interesting, so I gave her permission to text him back saying she wanted to do the dirty with him too. Next thing you know, my brother knocked on my bedroom door at 1 a.m. half naked. Mind you, everybody in the house was asleep. Me and Laya was scared because we thought he was just joking since she was only 13 and he was only 15, so we just pretended like we were asleep until he left. So we got up and locked my door and went back to sleep, and to this day my parents still don't know. I think they broke up after that happened. Lol. This isn't really a story, but my sister went over to her friend's house today and when she came back, bitch, I was dead. She came back and her lips were swollen. I was like, what the fuck happened to her? I thought her boyfriend sucked her lips too hard or something, but then I remembered she doesn't have one. Sorry, not sorry. Anyway, I was laughing so hard I almost peed because she looks like that one guy from Monster Incorporated when they suck the lips in that tube looking thing. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, good night bitches. Send me a DM if you want your story on here.
When I was younger I was in Walmart and I was eating a tube of Pringles and I ate them while my mom paid, but I forgot to let the guy scan them, so I walked out the Walmart and the alarm went off and I just started running because I got scared and my mom couldn't find me because I was hiding behind the newspaper things, and the Walmart people called the police because I was missing, and when I hear them show up I thought I was a criminal, so I left my mom a note on the newspaper that said I went to Mexico to start a new life and not come looking for me, and then I took off running with my Pringles and ran for like an hour, and then the cops saw me walking down the road so they pulled over, so I started running again, and then they were using the car intercom thing and they told me to stop running. So when I did I thought they were gonna put me in handcuffs and take me to jail, so I was crying and I slapped the officer in the stomach and tried to run again, but he just held me back, and when he asked me what happened to me and I told him, he started crying because he was laughing so hard. And he just gave my mom $2 for the Pringles and he was still laughing when he left. And that's the time I was a wanted criminal.
Okay, listen to this. In second grade, my dad decided to leave my mom, and right after he left her, my dad left with other women. I can't tell you how much he hated this silly bitch who had this son Cameron, and he was 12 years old. I remind you that I was in 2nd grade, he was in 7th grade, I was in 3rd grade. I knew from the beginning that this kid was very suspicious because he always came to my room after my dad and his mom moved in together. Try to lie close to me and watch movies with me and try to snuggle. I would always move like a bitch, just wanted to see SpongeBob. One time in 5th grade I had my friend over for a sleepover and we wanted to make brownies. It was 11:30 at night, so my parents were asleep, but we really wanted brownies, so we made them anyways. We didn't know what to use to cook the brownies, so we used a paper bowl. So we put the brownies in a paper bowl and put the bowl in the oven. After a couple minutes we smelled smoke but didn't think much of it since my parents smoked. But then we went to check on the brownies and noticed they were on fire. We didn't know what to do, so we put water on it. Next thing we know, the whole oven is on fire. So in the end we burnt half my kitchen down and are no longer allowed to make brownies.
When I was in 4th grade I was at a sleepover with my friends. We were looking at a try not to laugh challenge and one girl laughed so hard she peed her pants. So we all thought it was a good idea to pee our pants too. So we all peed our pants in that girl's room. After that we all thought it was fun, so we all drank a lot of water and peed again in our pants. Then one girl's dumbass decided it would be a good idea to make a Musical.ly account called the Pee Mermaids. On the account we peed in our pants and we even peed on her bed. I decided it would be a good idea to poop too. So we all pooped in our pants, then took the poo out and put it in the corner of her room. One girl said she had diarrhea, so we let her poop with her pants off. When we went to bed we all peed in our sleeping bags and I peed off of the girl's bunk bed. It got all over the walls and it smelled like pee for the rest of the night. Before our parents came we put her mom tampons in and peed to see how much it would hold. Our Musical.ly AC story time: when I was in kindergarten, after lunch we always had nap times and after them we always had to do work. My lazy ass never wanted to do work, so I came up with the idea of pretending like I was sleeping after everyone woke up. The teachers always let the kids sleep in, so it worked out perfectly. So then nap time came and put my plan into action. After everyone woke up I remained on the floor pretending I was sleeping. After about 2 hours of pretending I was sleeping I actually fell asleep. The next thing I knew was when I woke up I was in the hospital. I didn't know what happened. I sat up and my mom was sitting by my bed. When she saw me awake she started crying and called for a doctor. Apparently what happened was one of the kids, probably the freckled bitch in my class, leaned back on her chair and fell backwards and fell with a metal chair on my head, and I didn't wake up, so they called 911. And that bitch put me in a coma. I was in a coma for 2 weeks.
Follow you on TikTok, so here is my story mail. So this one time my older brother brought his best friend over. And I've always kinda had a crush on him. BC, this man was smoking hot. We can call him Anthony Lowell. I never really talked to him. BC, I was a shy ass bitch. But one day I found out that he was spending the night at my house. I didn't think much of it. Until dinner. My family always makes us eat dinner together, so we all sat down at the table. And Anthony was sitting across from me. We constantly looked at each other, and smiled throughout eating. Until he took off his shoe and rubbed his foot against my leg. I know it sounds weird, but I just went along with it. He stopped doing it, and did it again. But this time, I didn't feel his foot. He was rubbing his foot against my brother's leg. My brother got up and punched Anthony and kicked him out of the house. When I tell you my brother was mad, like that bitch was mad. I was really disappointed, but when he came back inside he yelled at me, and I started crying and ran to my room. I heard my parents talking to my brother about the whole situation, and
On the first day of 6th grade I had a crush and he liked me back. He's been my boyfriend for 2 months. We met up at the park and he decided to kiss me. I kissed him back. The next day I asked my mom if my friend could come over. That was actually my boyfriend. She didn't know about him. Once he got to my house my mom said he was my cousin. I've been kissing my cousin. I haven't been to the toilet in 4 days and it was starting to worry me, so I went to the doctor's. I arrived and the doctor felt my stomach and said it was very hard. He wanted me to take a stool sample, which means you have to shit in the cup. I had coffee for breakfast, so I was pretty much ready to go. I grabbed the cup and went to the toilet and held it up to my ass and started pushing. I didn't realize how badly coffee affected me, and the next thing you know a strong gust of diarrhea started blasting out of my ass and I felt like a rocket ready for takeoff. I grabbed onto the door for balance because I started levitating and the cup was already full, but I couldn't stop. I was holding onto the door for dear life and the shit was spitting out like a shotgun. I eventually stopped and looked at the glass cup of my shit and there were cracks all over the glass. I heard the desk lady shouting for everyone to get under the chair and to call the police. I got scared thinking what is going on outside, so I quickly cleaned myself up and rushed out of the bathroom to see everyone crying and hiding under the chairs because they thought there was an active shooter in the building. I said it was just my shit and everyone got up. Anyways, I have bowel cancer. Story time. So when I was in 8th grade, a girl walked up to me and said I was cute. 8 minutes later she came back up to me and asked if I wanted to go to her house. I said sure. Then she told me she had a boyfriend, and me being the little shit that I am, I said I didn't care. We started making out in her room and her boyfriend came over. He knocked on the door and said her name. I quickly put my shirt on and started acting gay. Right when he walked in, I faced the girl and started fake crying. I said, my boyfriend broke up with me yesterday. The girl's boyfriend came up to me and said it's okay bro, then he hugged me. Long story short, I actually turned gay and started dating her boyfriend.
Hey bad bleeps, so once I had transferred to a new school and it was my first day, so I didn't really know anybody, so this guy offered to show me. His name was Jari, and around over time we began to get really close. So once when we were in school during lunch, he pulled me into the janitor's closet and we started making out, which shocked me because he had a girlfriend, and I asked what the fuck he was doing and he said that he'd always liked me and he wanted to do the deed. So I said okay, when I tell you this man was good with what he was doing, he was good, and I was loud af because he was so good but gentle at the same time. While in the middle of it, his phone kept ringing and it was his girlfriend and he kept ignoring it. Then suddenly the door to the janitor's closet opened and I saw that it was his girlfriend. She asked what we were doing and it was clearly obvious, you dumb bitch. She got mad ASF and she started swinging at me, but Jarian was holding her back, but she kept trying to hit me. But he wouldn't let her, so she started crying and ran off. I ran after her because I felt really bad, so I pulled her into an empty classroom and I apologized, but she just kept crying, so I kissed her and she kissed back. We ended up doing the deed, and after that they broke up and I started dating him. She ended up being a crazy stalker ass bitch and would follow us around whenever we're out in public together, and whenever we were at each other's houses we decided to move in together, and later on I found out I was pregnant and we were really happy. I posted it on Instagram thinking nothing of it, but a few weeks later I was walking to my car and someone grabbed me from behind and threw me down, and it was the crazy ass bitch. She started yelling and saying that I stole her life and that she was the one that was supposed to be pregnant, not me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared for my life, so I got up and she started charging at me. When I tell you all, I ran so fucking fast to my house. I made it there so quick. She started banging on the door and soon the police arrived and took her away. I haven't seen her since. Moral of the story, kids, never fuck a guy that has a girlfriend.
In the 6th grade I transferred to a new school and didn't know anyone there. At orientation my teacher made me pair up with this boy. Let's call him Towel. Towel was acting super weird and nervous around me, but I didn't say anything. A few weeks into the school year, Towel was always texting me and trying to call me. His friends kept telling me he liked me, but he was a gross little chicken bone, skin tone, Trump-loving, hat-swinging, spit-drooling, mouth-breather white boy. He asked me out and I said no sorry. He was super depressed after that and tried again 5 more times. Poor guy was a hardcore simp, and the final time he asked me out and I said no, he just waltzed out into the street and tried to get run over by the cars driving by the school. Fast forward to the last 2 months of the school year. I had kept my distance from him cause he was a weird little fuck that always tried to touch me in any way he could. I had math class with one of his friends and she told me that Towel was planning on kidnapping me. This one time when I was little I thought I could talk to trees, because I had no friends, and I used to sit by them and say things, and one day I was talking to my tree friend called Kevin, and this girl went up to me and said, "Are you talking to that tree, freak?" And I started crying and hugged onto the tree, and while she was laughing one of the branches fell on the girl's head. Thanks Kevin. One day I asked how babies were made and my mother said that it just happens to lucky people out of God's choice. So 7-year-old me asked what if I don't want the baby, and she said I had to keep it. So then I searched up on Google how to kill a baby inside of me at home because I was scared that God picked me and my parents had to talk to the FBI on why their 7-year-old daughter is pregnant and killing her kid at home. One time when I was at a friend's house we were prank calling and we decided to call our local strip club. We called them and asked them what you have to do to become a stripper, and she told us the requirements and pay and more. She asked if we were 18 or older and we said we were 17 about to turn 18. At this point she was telling us to come in and do an interview. We eventually told her we were kids and she hung up, and we got a call from a different number. It was her mobile phone and she had our address and our parents' number. We were scared so we hung up, but my friend was terrified that she would call her parents and her parents were strict. We blocked both numbers and went to bed.
After that they broke up and I started dating him. She ended up being a crazy stalker ass bitch and would follow us around whenever we're out in public together, and whenever we were at each other's houses we decided to move in together, and later on I found out I was pregnant and we were really happy. I posted it on Instagram thinking nothing of it, but a few weeks later I was walking to my car and someone grabbed me from behind and threw me down, and it was the crazy ass bitch. She started yelling and saying that I stole her life and that she was the one that was supposed to be pregnant, not me, and I'm not gonna lie, I was scared for my life, so I got up and she started charging at me. When I tell you all, I ran so fucking fast to my house. I made it there so quick. She started banging on the door and soon the police arrived and took her away. I haven't seen her since. Moral of the story: kids never fuck a guy that has a girlfriend. When I was younger, I decided that it would be so cool if I didn't have a separate room to do my business. So, being the genius that I was, I designated a towel in the corner of my room as my pee towel. This was in my room for easily an entire week. Needless to say, it smelled disgusting. At one point, my mom came in and questioned the smell, and I shrugged it off saying it was probably the dog, and laughed at that. What baffles me the most, however, is that even when I was in a part of the house that was closer to the bathroom, I would go out of my way to use my pee towel. I think my parents still have the towel. Since this is a new account, I'm gonna tell my own story. We were in the classroom in 5th grade. We were all on the laptops and this kid went up to the teacher and asked could he go to the bathroom because he was feeling sick. The teacher was one of those annoying ass teachers, so she said no. A couple minutes later he threw up all over the classroom and we all had to go evacuate the classroom and sit in the hallway while he was still in there. We sat in the hallway for like 30 minutes and then he came out and all of a sudden it smelled like shit. We were all wondering what the fuck the smell was. Then when he walked by, a piece of shit came out of his pants and on the floor. Our teacher came out of the classroom and she yelled and asked why there was a piece of shit on the floor, and we all said it was the kid. Later on, one of the boys went into the boys' bathroom and there was shit all over the walls and toilet. Sparkles, grinning face with normal eyes.
So it was the first football game of the season and 3 guys that liked me all went and I only liked one of them. So the game starts and I go to the concession stand and get a pretzel while one of the boys were going to call him Leo. Leo comes with me and a whole bunch of his friends follow. I didn't like Leo, we just had some classes together and were kind of close anyways. His friends all knew he liked me, so they were yelling at him to push up on me and I didn't know WTF that meant. I was just trying to get my fucking pretzel. Meanwhile I leave the group and go back to the stands and I run into the boy that I like. We're gonna call him Carlos. Carlos is now talking to me saying that he's going to put me on with Leo and I go, bitch no, I like you. He looks at me and makes out with me in the open and I'm like, bitch what the fuck? He goes, you like me right? I say he's. Then the third boy comes in. I call this one Steven. Steven punched Carlos and they fight. Carlos leaves the game and I go behind the other bleachers to smoke with all my friends. Steven and Leo come with the group and there is a tire, so I sit next to Steven so I can have the first hit in my friend's records, and it looks like I'm trying to grab his wee woo, but I just wanted to smoke and she posted it. Leo then pulls me up and hugs me from behind and I run away to cry in the bathroom. Carlos saw the posted video and called me a hoe. This happened in October and just now me and Carlos got together.